Spoken to a lot of reps that have struggled with consistency. They struggle to sell consistently. They struggle to consistently have a full pipeline. And when I've really dug into it and analyzed everything that they're doing, what their day looks like, the main struggle they're having with their consistency seems to stem from them just not working their 8 hours. They're not putting in a full shift. Few reasons for this. One, it's either they're on an offer where they get a good amount of inbounds, or at least they were promised a good amount of inbounds. And when those inbounds don't come in, they squander the rest of the time. So maybe they fluctuate from having 6 to 7 inbound calls a day as a closer to then some weeks having 2 or 3 shows that day, or 2 to 3 inbound calls that day. And I find myself asking them, well, we're not talking about you having to work 12, 14-hour days. We're not talking about hustle culture. We're just talking about a normal 8-hour shift. What did you do outside of those 2 to 3 hours that you were actually on calls? Usually the answer is, I don't know, nothing, right? They usually just squandered the time, wasted it, didn't do anything, just waiting for more calls to come in. There's that scenario. Then there's another scenario where, and this is mostly for appointment setters that are dialing, they're trying to hit their KPIs, trying to hit their numbers. Days where they hit their numbers early, they set, let's say the KPI was 5 appointments, they set 5, or the KPI was 3 appointments, they set 3, they take the rest of the day off. They say, hey, I hit my numbers early, I'm going to go do whatever, right? And then the third kind of rep that I run into that has this issue with consistency is they're spending exorbitant amounts of time on like learning. They're showing up to tons of group calls from multiple different consultants or coaches that they follow. They're watching tons of YouTube videos every single day from multiple different sources, getting a bunch of conflicting information all the time, and constantly changing how they show up on calls because of the new YouTube video that came out where the coach said never do this on a call, without any context to what they're actually selling. Those are the 3 people that I see face a lot of inconsistencies in their sales. One, the inbound guy, he's wasting time doing nothing, waiting for pipeline when he could go and just fill his own pipeline in the time that he doesn't have inbound calls. The person that takes off early could use those days where they're ahead of the game to get even more momentum and be even further ahead by finishing the day strong. Instead of hitting KPI at 4 or 5 appointments set, they could set 7, 8, 9 that day and be ahead. So then the days when they're off or they're not feeling well, they do have the luxury to take the time off and kind of get a reset when they're a little bit drained and frustrated. And the person that spends hours learning needs to learn to adjust their time to where they're only learning enough information that alleviates constraints and it removes the bottleneck, and they need to spend a vast majority of their time on execution, also making sure that they're tracking their execution so that they're not randomly trying all these new things from a bunch of different trainers telling them a bunch of conflicting information without context from YouTube videos. If they do those 3 things, they would see a lot more consistency. And one thing I've often found myself saying to reps that are on offers is, listen, if you just schedule out 8 hours of your day for work, normal, not asking for anything crazy, a normal 8-hour shift, whatever, whether it's 8 to 4, 9 to 5, 10 to 6, whatever that is for you. When you look at your day, a little mantra that you can think of, it's not really a mantra, just a saying that you can have is, if I'm not on calls making offers, I should be generating calls. That's it. If that's what you do for 8 hours every single day, you will be very consistent, right? It's like, okay, what am I doing right now? I'm looking at my calendar. Is it within my work block? Yes. Okay. Am I on a sales call right now? No. So I should be doing something to generate a sales call, whether it's following up with my pipeline, whether it's dialing leads in the CRM, whether it's connecting and shooting DMs on LinkedIn to set more appointments. Whatever your outreach method is, do it to generate more calls. And guess what? You do that consistently. Now you're getting a ton of inbounds from your team, but you're also generating some calls yourself. Now, when you look at your calendar, you're like, am I on call right now? Yeah, I got a call starting in 2 minutes. Great. Then I'm taking my calls throughout the day. Well, look, there was a no-show. I have a free hour now because this person went ghost and didn't show up. What am I doing right now? Am I on a call? No. So what should I do at this time? Do some actions that will generate me calls. And if you are just doing that, again, this is not about hustle culture. This is not about 12, 14, 16-hour days. You don't got to do that if you're consistent with that actual 8-hour days. What you find when you actually analyze your day is people aren't even putting in that. They're actually, when they're actually doing maybe 2 or 3 hours of solid work, and the rest of the day is just on fluff. They don't even remember because they were either on their phone too much or just doing whatever. Right? They wasted that time. But if you can just focus on those two things, am I on calls? No, I'm generating. Am I not generating calls? No, then I should be on a call. Really, really simple. Do that. You'll see a ton of consistency from just that alone. Hopefully that helps. See you in the next video.